But here to extol some of the virtues of darkness is Sze-leung Cheung, who is the International Outreach Coordinator of the International Astronomical Union. Sze-leung?
So, hello. I'm very glad to talk with you on behalf of the International Community of Astronomers. So, during the International Year of Light, so we are running a very big part of the cosmic light theme for IYL. So, I'm very happy to talk about what is light pollution and also what the International Astronomical Union is going to do. So, first of all, it is a really good opportunity for all of us here to think about what if we are planning for future. We are planning for a future, for generations of lighting. So what is the best lighting we could produce? So we are not only thinking in terms of astronomers. Of course, we would like to observe more stars, but in terms of really a good technology, so what is the best technology that we would like for our next generation to have? So, as mentioned by our General Secretary before, that we will really love to see more stars, but this is not only the major purpose. So, not only because dark sky is important, but dark sky is important because we need a dark sky in order to do all the scientific observations. So we mentioned that in Chile, that this morning that you heard about that. So all of the necessary conditions with dark skies is important for major scientific discoveries that you have heard about, like the earlier times. So it's important for us. So for us, for astronomers, we definitely would like to ask all of you to help us to protect our observatories. That's the most fundamental part, which is important for scientific discoveries. And secondly, which is, as already mentioned by our General Secretary, that night sky is an important part of a heritage of human beings. So I don't want to repeat all of this. So, just some technical details about light pollution. So if you consider different kinds of lighting, if you really go out and have a walk along different cities, along different places, you will see there are many different usage of lightings and different settings. For example, some lightings you will see on the left would definitely just without any shielding, so the light go up and all around 360 degrees. But if you add a protection shielding, that you could make all the lighting not pointing upwards, but it only pointing downwards, which is essential to saving energy, and also it could also at the same time to save the dark sky. So we call it the full cutoff fixtures, which is important and which is one of our suggestions. So if you can do a very simple trick using a lighting, but on top of it, add a full cutoff shielding, then you could already save a lot of energy at the same time to help us to save light pollution, which is very easy. And another thing, probably we didn't mention it during the talk here. So if you really study the human behavior and human response to light, so the right-hand side, you see the curve here, is the response of human eyes. So we basically, light is from red to blue, but if you look here, so human response is more central at yellow, green, less sensitive in red and blue. But at the same time, actually you did the experiment already. So a few minutes before, so another speaker asked you to close your eye and have a kind of experience. If you did really close your eye, you will feel that you're not in entire darkness. You still feel some light It's because daylight cycle is essential to all animals. And we are not only seeing the daylight cycle by our eyes, but we sense them. So we therefore actually blue part of the electromagnetic spectrum is more essential. So we feel the blue instead of red. So if you imagine sometimes you go to some hotels or some place, why they turn on red light at night, not the blue, is because we basically are not sensitive to red. So therefore, nowadays there are many new technologies like the LED, but you will find that they're really rich in blue color. So it will produce some problems. If you really use a lot of blue-rich LEDs, you will cause some problems in health because you're exposed to a lot of light in blue, which disturb your daylight cycle, which is not really what we want. So therefore, for future technologies, this is a good way to invent or investigate a new technology that with less blue light, which is not only for science, not only for health, but it's also for economic growth. So it will help the industry to develop some new products as well. If you look at the spectrum, so you know we can split the light into different in the electromagnetic spectrum. So this is the fingerprints of different elements, so we call them. If you look at different types of light, for example, this one is the low pressurized sodium light, and this one the high pressure. So you see they are only at a certain specific spectrum, which means that it is good. It's easy for us to hide them. So we just add some filter, then we could easily filter out the light pollution from a specific spectrum. But if you look at this LED, which is basically it's a wall, so it's much difficult for us to filter out all the effects of light pollution here. So that means if we really encourage, or for all the astronomical observatories, we will encourage to use some specific spectrums instead of a wall like this kind of LEDs in order for astronomical observations. So for us, spectral management is very important. So as I mentioned, blue light is not good because it's not good for human. And also, it's easy to scatter. For red, in the other hand, it will propagate. Yeah, for direct propagation, it's the longest direct propagation. Therefore, we encourage the use of the yellow color. And the third one, it's probably you heard about before, it's we should ask the people to limit the use of the time and also the intensity. So use it wisely. Don't turn on all the lighting, even you don't need them at night, after 2, after 3. So personally, I come from a very light polluted city. I come from Hong Kong. So it's really, you see all the lightings everywhere. So it's really good and good for the people to turn off the light at night time. We have a lot of experience that all of the advertisements still turning on during midnight, and it's disturbing the sleeping of a lot of people. So using motion activation and even on a highway is really a promising future direction. So the International Astronomical Union recognized all this importance of the proper use of lighting, and we therefore see the education is a very important aspect in this year. So we run a lot of activities. Therefore, we are one of the major players for the cosmic light theme for IYL. So we have a lot of what we call the cornerstones projects. So we have different types of activities here. So I'd like to briefly introduce some of them. So we assemble some educational kit. So if you have time, you can just go out. We have a counter outside, so please come and look at the counter. We will show you some demonstrations. So we run teacher trainings. So teachers is an important army for the future. We teach our teachers and we train the teachers and the teachers teach our students, which is very important. We run online courses. We produce a lot of resources. And We also would like to engage the people to conduct the measurements of the dark skies in order to understand the light pollution issues. So therefore, we have different types of events. One of these we call the Group at Night event, so it's happening every month and even today. So we ask the people to go out and look at the sky and then count the number of stars you can see. So comparing, if you see more stars, that means it's dark. If you see less stars, that means it's bright. So it's very easy to compare. So we could do it internationally, globally, and you can gather the light pollution condition around the world, which is very easy. And it's good to educate the people. And this year, we have an agreement with an app developer. So this year, there will be a special dark sky meter app available on iPhone, free of charge. It will be available next month. So it's an IYL edition. So it is installed on iPhone, and you could use your iPhone immediately. You could point to the sky and measure the dark sky brightness, which is very easy to use. And you could report the result immediately as well. And as I told you, there are lots of science behind all the lighting, design, and the usage. So therefore, we are also producing a quality lighting kit to teach the students what is best in terms of lighting. So you could see some samples, as I mentioned to you. So we would like to encourage people to look at the night sky. So therefore, there's a good quality telescope at a very reasonable price. It was developed during the International Year of Astronomy in 2009, which is what they call the Galileo scope. So we have samples here. Again, we are most welcome to see it. And this is an exhibition incorporate not only with IU, but also with SPIE. So we sponsored this, the Light Beyond the Bulbs, which is a huge exhibit. So you already see some samples during the opening ceremony. So it showcased most gorgeous, spectacular images around the world related to light phenomena, not only to astronomy, but every astronomical phenomena and so on. So it's very good and easy you can just download it and you can set a big, large-scale exhibition. And exhibition is always one of the most easiest activity that you could organize then. So this is a sample. So there are actually much more activities, but the key is we would like to engage internationally. We would like to engage more people, so we have a network of national coordinators, and we'd like to take this opportunity to do more networking. So if you have time, please come to our booth for IU so we could talk more, explore different opportunities. Thank you very much.